A warm welcome to A Nurse's Lift to Work with Tina and Kate, coaching podcast by two healthcare professionals. We are friends, we are nurses, master NLP coaches, hypnotherapists, parents and business owners. We are busy people juggling many things just like you.
You are in for a treat. We will chat about informal coaching tips, coping strategies, and how to effectively change your mindset and have some fun along the way. So, hop on board with us for A Nurse's Lift to Work.
Hello everyone.
Hello. Welcome to A Nurse's Lift to Work.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Tina.
Oh, it's very exciting, isn't it? Look, we were dead posh then.
I know. We didn't even know ourselves, do we?
Hello, my beautiful friend.
Hello, gorgeous. Now, what are we talking about today, Kate, for everybody?
So in today's episode, we are talking about mindset. Shifting your mind, the way that you think, to make life just, well, better, really.
Because everywhere I look lately, there's you see a lot of posts on social media, you see a lot of things about mindset and mindset changing. And I think some people are like, what is a mindset? And why does it matter what my mindset is? So I think even just exploring those simple ideas with Kate and I, because we will talk about this all the time.
We do like this topic.
We do.
Well, listeners, have you ever heard the phrase, the saying, and I know you have, you are what you eat?
I have heard that phrase.
Well, the same can be said for something along the lines of you become what you think you are.
Very good. Oh, because
I know, right? That's a bit deep and powerful, isn't it?
I like it. Because I think it was Henry Ford, I think we've said this quote before, who said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, that's true. Or words to that effect.
Either way, you're right.
Yeah. And as NLP practitioners, neuro-linguistic practitioner master coaches, Kate and I have done lots of training in this, and we know that it is absolutely true. That the way you see the world is almost like a projection in a cinema coming out of your own brain. So you will see the world in a certain way, and you might see all the good things within the world, or you might see all the tricky things within the world, and that's probably going to be based on what you normally think.
Yes, absolutely. And the same, the same can be said for where you see yourself in the future.
Yeah.
And you know, like you want to be somewhere, but you don't know how to get there. And how you think about how you're going to get there will make the difference between whether you do or whether you don't.
Yeah.
And you hear people say, well, I want to do this, but because if I don't do it, this is going to happen. And if you focus on what's not going to happen, you never focus on what will happen.
Yeah. And you hear people say things like, so a mindset is all the thoughts you have and all the way that you, I guess, the script of your mind, like what is your thinking telling you and how is that guiding your actions? So if you're thinking, well, I want to get somewhere, but I just can't, then that's a very different script to I can't yet. Very different, because you still can't just now, but you could. And if you could, what would you need to do between now and when you can to
Mm.
be able to do it.
And it's interesting as well, because you can put two people in the same situation and you will see this in work. You will absolutely see this in work. Those that can and those that won't, or don't see that they can. You know, the potentially miserable people. Oh, I
Well,
can't
yeah,
stand them.
miserable slash unhappy,
Oh,
unhappy people who,
I never do anything, that never happens to me. Well, maybe it could.
yeah, and kind of and it brings a lot of unhappiness to be in a very stuck place where you
Mm,
can't and it doesn't happen for you and it's so unfair. And I tried last year and I didn't get promotion and, etc.
mm,
And and I'll put something in the show notes, but one of our very early episodes is about being above and below the line in your thinking. So if you're thinking all of this doomy stuff like, oh, it's just not fair, then
mm,
actually maybe it wasn't fair, but who can act to make it fairer? Is that you? Is that someone else? What can you learn?
mm.
So depending on all of that, tells you whether you're in a place of like, maybe this could change and I could be part of that, then you're going to be in a much more resourceful place. That's what Kate and I would say. So we'll pop a link into being above and below the line. But when you start making excuses or you're denying the fact that maybe the problem is your own self, that's
Yeah.
very resourceful.
And if you if you want to be more, if you want to go on a personal development journey that takes you to, the person that you want to be in the future, the first thing that you have got to work on is your mindset. If you don't do that, it's much harder to get to where you want to be. Just gives you more avenues, more options, more points of thinking.
Yeah. And actually, I really truly believe, Kate, it gives you more contentment.
Mm.
Because when things don't work out, instead of super dwelling in the spiral of doom, where you didn't get a parking space and everyone hates you and you're going to go and eat worms and basically it's all
Mm.
dreadful.
I'm going to tell
Then,
you a little mini story. I won't have told you this one, Tina, and this
oh,
is an
carry
easy
on,
story
please do.
from the Book of Kate. I was taking small child, who's not really very small, she's nearly as tall as me now, to school today. We left early, we were gonna get there on time, and she wasn't gonna get another late mark. Yeah. Except the roads were flooded. So so the way that I went, we were literally could see school, couldn't get there. She couldn't walk there because no wellies, and they don't let you walk through it because it's so deep. Oh, I was like, oh, arse chops. Had to drive all the way around, and I was like, oh, Ivy. Oh, I told you, that's my baby. I was like, oh, I said, we were so close to getting to school on time. She's like, it's all right though, Mom, isn't it, really? And I'm like, yes, but I didn't want you to have another late mark. She said, I'll just add it to the others, Mom, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Because in that whole today it feels terrible, will it tomorrow, next week, in a month, in a year? That perspective setting along the lines of how really, really important is this thing is very helpful.
Mm.
And I think for me and my own mindset, I find that quite helpful. And I find the knowledge that I cannot control other people's behavior, which I've always known, actually, I'm not really Darth Vader's best sister, but that kind of idea of let them, they are going to do what they are going to do. We
Mm.
present our best selves, we turn up as best we can. We are helpful and resourceful and we facilitate nice things. And if other people around us don't join in the party, then that's what they're going to do. And really, it's just so helpful because it doesn't mean you don't keep striving for your best or excellence as a nurse or whatever. You keep showing the way, you keep modeling the good stuff, but don't get into too many mindset fugs about the fact that, well, I've told her 5 times and she still does X. Well, that's what she's doing.
It's the nice thing for me is to be able to go, okay, move on. I'd get quite caught up before in the drama, so I'm like, you do whatever you want to.
Yeah. So your mindset is how your thinking is shaping your actions and your ability and your motivation. And actually, it's really helpful to just start noticing. So if you haven't done mindset work before, my recommendation with Kate would be to just start noticing.
You'll find as well that the more of these episodes that you listen to, the more you will be, oh, I see that. I get where they're coming from. Oh, I hear what they're saying, and I get it. And it isn't life so much better?
Yeah. And then once you start noticing, just start practicing some things. You know, if you notice that you say to yourself quite a lot, oh, I just can't, then occasionally think, or could you, Tina? What if you could?
Yeah.
Just start noticing and start kind of thinking, well, what if I thought differently? What would that help me? What would that mean? And as Kate has said, there's loads of back episodes. We'll pop a few in the notes, but you could certainly listen to reframing, have a little think about dealing with overwhelm. You know, there's lots of absolutely helpful stuff there in the back catalogues for you. But why does it matter, all this mindset stuff, Kate, that we're speaking about?
Because it matters, because I'm trying to find the words. For me, it kind of gives me more scope for moving forward. I feel like I've got the options. I've got more options now than I did before. I give less of a bother about things. And actually, I think the first thing I wanted to say was because it takes a real big weight off your shoulders by being able to just not mind about the little things and be, okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
It's quite a cathartic process, but it's one that, and Tina, I know that you know this, it's one that you repeat, you practice, you repeat, and you don't know that you're doing it until you hear yourself doing it and saying things to other people about how they can manage certain situations or whatever. And then you're like, oh my God, when did I know that?
It becomes such a helpful habit. And I think why it matters is because if you don't have a flexible, helpful mindset, you will be very limited. And everyone listening to this has the most incredible amount of potential, like unbelievable, unlimited amounts of potential. And probably at the moment are only using like 30% of it, if that, based on their mindset and the limitations they place there for themselves. So yes, changing your mindset will help with that.
We're all nurses, aren't we? At the end of the day, we're all nurses here. How much better will your life be when you can manage your workload more effectively because you've got a better mindset? How you can manage your patients and the people under your care better? How you can almost infuse in them the things that you know that they can then take with them moving forward, patients, relatives, doctors, everybody else that you work with. It's got this whole cumulative thing that just makes work life so much better.
Yeah, and work-life balance so much better, because if you're super resourceful at work, you will switch off more quickly when you get home, you'll compartmentalize more effectively, you'll rest better, you're more available for your kids, your family, your loved ones, your lovers, whoever they are. So
I think we've done that, but we like,
yeah,
you're like, I want to do this mindset stuff now.
yeah, you'll just be more on an even keel, absolutely guarantee, if you work on your mindset. So much to get excited about in thinking about mindset.
Well, I am Kate,
And I'm Tina.
and you've been listening to a lift of no, oh gosh, we changed it, didn't we? A nurse's lift to work.
Yeah, you've been listening to the brand new baby podcast, born of the lift to work, called The Nurses Lift to Work. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to A Nurse's Lift to Work with Kate and Tina. Please remember, this is not a replacement for medical treatment or help, so do seek assistance if you need to.
Thank you for joining us. Please do like, subscribe, give us stars, like and share with your friends and colleagues. All the good things.